Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 13, text 8 to 9. Atmanam Brahma Nirvanam.
Atmanam Brahma
Brahma Nirvanam.
Pratyastamita Vigraham.
Pratyastamita Vigraham.
Avabodha Rasekatmayam.
Avabodha Rasekatmayam.
Anandam Anushantatam.
Anandam Anusantatam.
Avyavachina Yogagni.
Avyavachina Yogagni.
Agni.
Dagda Karma Malashayaha.
Dagda
Karma.
Karma Malashayaha.
Swarupam Avarundhano.
Swarupam Avarundano.
Natmano Nayam Tadekshata.
Natmano Anyam Tadechata.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Krishna Prabhupada. By expansion of his knowledge of the Supreme Brahman, he had already attained liberation from the bondage of the body. This liberation is known as nirvana. He was situated in transcendental bliss, and he continued always in that blissful existence, which expanded more and more. This was possible for him by continual practice of bhakti yoga, which is compared to fire, because it burns away all dirty material things. He was always situated in his constitutional position of self-realization, and he could not see anything else but the Supreme Lord and himself engaged in discharging devotional service. So this was, let me just go back to the previous verse. Sorry, wait, let me. So as Narad Muni has been speaking at the, now we are speaking about Utkala. This is Dhruva Mahārāja's son. And he was a Mahabhagavat. And he is, although he is here in the material world, he is completely liberated. He is inside this body, but he is completely liberated. He's called Nirvana. He's already attained liberation from bondage of body. He's not looking at himself as the body. He's completely understood his constitutional position. He's completely understood himself as part and parcel of Krishna, even though he's still living in the body. So we can see it's not that we have to give up the body to attain liberation. By practicing devotional service, one can get liberated even while being inside this body. These two verses explain the verse in the Bhagavad Gita 1854. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma na sochati na kankshati samasarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate param. One who is transcendently situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed towards every living entity. In that state, he achieves pure devotional service unto me. So the Brahma Bhuta platform is liberated platform. He's completely understood. I am Brahman. I'm not this body. And at that point, of course, he's completely joyful. There is no material modes acting on the living entity. And he's situated in the joy of being the soul. And at that state, Krishna says, Mad Bhaktim Labhate Param. One can engage in pure devotional service because that At that point, the living entity is understood his real position, constitutional position, as eternal part and parcel of Krishna. This is also explained by Lord Chaitanya and as Shikshashtaka in the beginning of the first verse. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamahadavagni nirvapanam shreyakerva chandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam. So Lord Chaitanya in his Shikshastakam, he says the first thing that happens by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, Cheto darpanamarjanam, that the heart gets purified of all the dirty things. Bhava Mahadavagi Nirvapanam, that this blazing fire of material existence is extinguished. So first thing is liberation, and then continues. It's not that liberation is the end, it's the beginning of real spiritual life. The Bhakti Yoga system is the topmost yoga system. And in this system, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is the foremost performance of devotional service. By chanting the holy name, one can attain the perfection of nirvana or liberation from material existence, and so increase one's blissful life of spiritual existence, as described by Lord Chaitanya, Anandam Buddhivardhanam. We can see by chanting the holy name of the Lord, we can get liberation from this material world. And all the Shastras, they say in this age of Kali, the way of perfection is by chanting the holy name. That is the Yuga Dharma of this age of Kali. When one is situated in that position, he no longer has any interest in material opulence or even a royal throne and sovereignty over the whole planet. This situation is called Viraktir Anyatra Syat. It is the result of devotional service. So because the living entity is then already understood, I'm not the body, I'm the soul, and he's engaged in devotional service, pure devotional service, and he's experiencing extreme bliss and joy in that position. So he's no more interested in anything material. We want material things because we still are looking for this enjoyment. But the fully realized soul is already blissful. For him, this material world offers no joy, but he's experiencing the highest joy in devotional service. Susukham kartam avyayam, Krishna says, devotional service is joyfully performed. The more one makes advancement in devotional service, the more one becomes detached from material opulence and material activity. This is the spiritual nature full of bliss. So it's like automatic. One need not artificially try to give up material desires. One only need to take up the activities of devotional service. And as one engages in devotional service, gradually, the material desires get extinguished from the heart, get detached from the material world. This is also described in Bhagavad Gita 259, Param Drishtva Nivartate. One ceases to take part in material enjoyment upon tasting superior blissful life in spiritual existence. By advancement in spiritual knowledge, which is considered to be like blazing fire, all material desires are burned to ashes. So as one is engaging in devotional service, the spiritual knowledge is also revealed to that living entity. And this spiritual knowledge is completely burning all the material desires which are in the heart. The perfection of mystic yoga is possible when one is continuously in connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead by discharging devotional service. We can see how by constantly engaging in devotional service, one gets liberation. A devotee is always thinking of the Supreme Person at every step of his life. Every conditioned soul is full of reactions of his past life, but all dirty things are immediately burned to ashes if one simply executes devotional service. This is described in the Narad Pancharatra, Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam Tat Paratvena Nirmalam. So when one engages in devotional service, all the dirty things in the heart, all the material desires, all the past reactions, gradually they are, Prabhupada is saying, they are immediately burned to ashes. The reactions of past life, they are immediately burned to ashes by engages in devotional service. This is what Narad Pancharatra also states. Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam Tat Paratvena Nirmalam. That by engaging in devotional service, we get rid of all the upadhi, sarva upadhi vinirmuktam. All these upadhis that we have created, which are related to the body. I'm a man or a woman, I'm a husband or wife or a child or a parent or an employer or an employee or so many upadhis we create. But all these upadhis are related to the body. By engaging in devotional service, one can get rid of all these upadhis and be situated as I am a pure soul, part and parcel of Krishna. And in that state can engage in devotional service. So by engaging in devotional service, we can see that we are seeing how these great personalities, by engaging in devotional service, they got liberated and they got situated in their original position, pure, engaging in pure devotional service.
So
That's the
upadhi
original
means
position.
sins.
Upadhi is
Upadhi means
the designations, the the body has so many of these designations which we are giving to the body, right? Like whatever, I'm a man, or I'm a woman, or I'm a husband, or a wife, or
like even the country, like I'm Indian,
yes,
I'm boy,
yes,
right? I'm
yes,
husband.
yes. That is the upadhi, and we can see all that is of the body, not of the soul.
So
And
all that is
Narad
removed.
all that is removed. How? How?
Through devotional service.
That's right.
Pure devotional service.
Yes. Yes. By executing devotional service, all these upadhis go away. Devotional service begins by hearing and chanting. So regularly here is said, one makes advancement in devotional service, the more one becomes detached from material opulence and material activity. Then because gradually the living entity understands, oh, I'm not this body, I'm the soul. So let me engage in activities of the soul. Jadanda badiron mata mukakritir atanmatihi
Mukakritir atanmatihi
lakshita pathi balanam
lakshita pathi balanam
prashantarchir ivanalaha.
prashanta
Kala appeared to the less intelligent persons on the road to be foolish, blind, dumb, deaf, and mad, although actually he was not so. He remained like fire covered with ashes without blazing flames. In order to avoid contradiction, botheration, and unfavorable situations created by materialistic persons, a great saintly person like Jad Bharat or Utkala remained silent. So Jad Bharat also did that. We are going to hear about him in the 5th canto. In the canto coming up, he was Mahabhagavat, Jad Bharat, but he appeared to people to be like very, very unintelligent, very dumb. It was not so. He was just putting on that act just so that he could be left alone to avoid contradiction, botheration, to avoid any kind of a friction with anyone. So same Utkala is also doing that. He's remaining silent just to avoid, any kind of a unpleasant situation. The less intelligent consider such saintly persons to be mad, deaf, or dumb. Actually, an advanced devotee avoids speaking with persons who are not in devotional life, but to those who are in devotional life, he speaks in friendship, and he speaks to the innocent for their enlightenment. So this is, because these kind of devotees are so advanced that they want to avoid any kind of unpleasant situation. And so but when there is any opportunity to speak of devotional service, they're very enthusiastic to speak. Speaks in friendship, he speaks he's giving mercy to the innocent. This is like the Madhyam Adhikari. He does that. He avoids speaking to the atheists. He makes friends with the devotees, and he gives mercy to the innocent. For all practical purposes, the whole world is full of non-devotees. And so one kind of very advanced devotee is called Bhajananandi. Those who are Goshti Anandi, however, preach to increase the number of devotees. So there are two types of devotees. There's the Bhajananandi and there's the Goshtanandi. Now, what is the Bhajananandi? Is that they're always doing their bhajan, very advanced devotees, very, very advanced. But their mood is doing for their own bhajan, their own hearing, chanting, devotional service. Then there is the Goshti Anandi devotees. What do? They are everywhere, preaching. So to giving devotional service, speaking about devotional service to everyone. They're called the Goshti Anandi. They're doing their bhajan also. It's not that they don't do, but they are the preachers. But even such preachers also avoid opposing elements who are unfavorably disposed towards spiritual life. So what Prabhupada is saying is one may be a preacher, but he should avoid this unpleasant kind of situations, not get into contradiction, not get into arguments, basically. Avoid arguments.
So that means that Narad Muni is Goshtanandi. Is it?
Yes, yes.
Because he's also preaching and he's always remembering, but he's preaching also.
Yes. Yes. And Lord Chaitanya wants each of us to become this Goshtanandi. He says, Yare dekha tare kaha Krishna upadesh. Lord Chaitanya is saying, on my order, each of you become a guru and tell everyone about Krishna. So it's Lord Chaitanya's instruction. He wants everyone to become this Goshtanandi. Give Krishna consciousness to everyone. Lord Chaitanya has actually liberated everyone. He's liberated everyone. It's just, this is his, the Harinam Sankirtan is Lord Chaitanya's Ras Leela going on. So he's just giving an opportunity to everyone to become an instrument. So, matvatam jaram unmatam.
Matvatam jadam
Jadam
utmatam
utmatam.
Kulavrida samantrinaha.
Kula vriddhaha samantrinaha.
Vatsaram bhupatim chakrur.
Vatsaram bhupatim chakrur.
Yaviyam sam brahme sutam.
Yaviyam sam brahme sutam.
For this reason, the ministers and all the elderly members of the family thought Utkala to be without intelligence and in fact mad. Thus his younger brother named Vatsara, the son of Brahmi, was elevated to the royal throne and he became king of the world. So Utkala was the son of Dhruva Maharaj, and because he is a pure devotee, but he's appearing to people to be mad. So they said, then we cannot let this kind of a person rule the kingdom. So then it seems the son of Brahmi called Vatsara, he is his younger brother and he is becoming the king. It appears that although there was monarchy, it was not at all an autocracy. There were senior family members and ministers who could make changes and elect the proper person to the throne, although the throne could be occupied only by the royal family. In modern days also, wherever there is monarchy, sometimes the ministers and elder members of the family select one member from the royal family to occupy the throne in preference to another. So Prabhupada is just pointing out a few a way that the kings could be chosen. They would be from the royal family, but they could, it's not that if one has to become. Like Dhritarashtra was born blind, so that's why Pandu became the king. Things like that. Sarvatir Vatsaras Yeshta.
Swartir bhattas sarista.
Bharya Sutta Sad Atmajan.
Bharya sutta satya.
Pushparanam Tigma Ketum Cha.
Pushparanam
Tigmaketum
tiktum cha.
Isham Urjam Vasum Jayam.
Isham urjam vasum jayam.
King Vatsara had a very dear wife whose name was Swarvithi, and she gave birth to 6 sons named Pushparna, Tigmaketu, Isha, Urja, Vasu, and Jaya. Vatsara's wife is mentioned here as Ishta, which means worshipable. In other words, it appears that Vatsara's wife had all good qualities. For example, she was always very faithful and obedient and affectionate to her husband. So here, Vatsara's wife is being glorified. Sarvati, she is being glorified. Her qualities are being said that she was very faithful, obedient, and affectionate to her husband. She had all good qualities for managing household affairs. If both the husband and wife are endowed with good qualities and live peacefully, then nice children take birth, and thus the whole family is happy and prosperous. So cooperation between husband and wife leads to a happy, peaceful life. It's 28 already. We can read this one. Pushparnasya prabhabharya.
Pushparnasya prabha bharya.
dosha cha dve babhuvatuhu.
Dosha cha dve babhuvatu.
Atar madhyandinam sayam.
Pratar madhyandinam sayam.
Itihi asan prabhasutaham.
Iti asan prabhasutaha.
Pushparna had 2 wives named Prabha and Dosha. Prabha had 3 sons named Pratar, Madhyandinam, and Sayam. So this is the lineage that we are hearing of Dhruva Maharaj. We'll stop here for today. Are there any questions or comments?
I just have a question about Utkal. So, was there any particular reason why he was behaving like that?
Because they are showing that he is Mahābhagavat. He is already on the liberated platform and he does not want to be disturbed. Jar Bharat was also doing that. You know, Jar Bharat, because he was Bharat Maharaj, then he became the deer, and now he's become Jar Bharat, and he could remember his lives. So he was like, okay, I just want to focus on devotional service. I don't want to be deviated from devotional service by anything. So that's why Jar Bharat was appearing that way. Now, Utkala, he's also...
He was not an Avadut, right? No.
Who?
Utkal.
Utkal is appearing to be a Avadut.
Okay, just appearing to be.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
the
most of them appeared.
activities of... He is also activities of a Avadut. It was not described much in detail, but usually, yeah.
Okay. Because he was not bothered by the bodily, and he was, like equal. He didn't bother what he was eating, eating. Like, so that appears like Avadut, that they don't bother much about the bodily things.
Yeah, and they do, and he doesn't want to be bothered also by others.
Okay.
He is more into his bhajan.
Okay.
So people thought that he was insane. Mad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Brahmi, the other brother, he became the king. So that means it's Dhruva Maharaj's brother. Is it? Son became the king. He took the throne.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So that means Dhruva Maharaj had another brother.
Yeah, that's what seems like that. Yeah.
Okay.
That was just mentioned now. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much for listening and joining in Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Hare Krishna.